Hey there, welcome to Main Street Living. I'm Cheryl Nelson.
Hey, I'm Quincy Carr.
And I'm Danielle Alvari.
Guys, it's a new week. How are things going where you are?
Going.
It could be more exciting. I could use a little more excitement in my life, to be honest.
Yeah, I think we all could, right?
It's almost
just a little bit. We've been so stationary lately, I feel like, haven't been doing much. But here's something that maybe we can check out once the pandemic goes away, hopefully sooner than later.
Right.
A roller coaster, get this, is being built in Saudi Arabia. You're going to go more than 155 miles an hour.
You're going to go, Cheryl.
Yeah, it's called Falcon Flight. It's the world's tallest, fastest, and longest roller coaster. You'll cliff dive into a 525-foot valley and travel almost 2.5 miles.
I'm doing it. Like, no.
Good game.
No,
I'm game.
You're in?
Yeah, I flew with the Blue Angels. I pulled 7.4 G. I'm in. I'm in.
Yes, I'm doing it because, I mean, after what this past year has been, you really can't account for anything. So I'm just going to take all the risks I can take. I'm doing it.
I would not have pictured you wanting to do that because usually it seems like you shy away from a lot of these adventurous, scary things.
What?
Yeah, Cheryl and I were talking about jumping off of, the stratosphere in Las Vegas, and you were like, no way. But this, you just need a safety harness or we have that.
That's
so I don't know.
With the ride, right?
And a prayer, of course. Yeah, like it seems, the thrill of a roller coaster is always the going up. And,
don't you hate that? And then you linger for a little bit at the top before it drops. Right. And it's like, oh my gosh.
And then cliff dive.
So, I don't know why, but every time I'm on a huge roller coaster that gets ready to do that big drop, for some reason I feel like I'm standing up because I'm bracing so much. So my shoulders hurt from the harness that's on me. So I'm standing up. So I would do it. I mean, if I could, I would.
Line him up.
Danielle, are you in?
Well, no, the way that my inner ear works, it's gonna be a no for me. It's gonna be a no for me.
What's wrong with your inner ear?
I don't know if that's gonna be super compatible for me with the way my body's set up.
Your body would be reject.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I would love to, but my body would probably not.
Yeah. Okay, so on the roller coasters that you all have been on, do you typically scream or are you just a quiet rider? Like I'm a quiet rider.
Are you real? No, I scream. My mouth is open and all kinds of just crazy sounds are coming out as I'm going down the hill. In fact, when I was a kid, I used to go to an amusement park called King's Dominion north of Richmond, and they had the Rebel Yell, and you could ride backwards. You could sit backwards, and I used to love that. Yeah. Would you go backwards?
I did. I rode that
in a station wagon, maybe, but not not for me. No.
Yeah.
See what's coming on the roller coaster.
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh, guys! Yeah, It was a lot of fun. I liked roller coasters more though. I think when I was a kid. Now that I'm an adult, I get some of the headaches more. I don't know what's up with that.
Oh, I love them. I love them. Me and my daughter both can do it together. Father-daughter squad.
All right, we'll have to do that, Q. But guys, we have another great show coming up today.
An exciting show. Yeah, and we're going to get our minds right with an emotional alignment coach, and we're also going to get our bodies right talking about fitness with Angie Abercrombie.
Perfect.
That is correct, and we're getting familiar with innovative mask making with the Innovative Mask Making Company.
All right, we all need some more masks, I feel like. And guys, first, we're going to highlight some super cute animals who need a little extra TLC. You'll want to see this. Don't go away.
No scrubs.
Welcome back into Main Street Living. Now, Cheryl, Quincy, I know that we talk about this every week. We miss being able to go about and travel and do things. When I used to go to San Diego a lot and visit my brother, one of my favorite places to go was the zoo and see all the animals, but we haven't been able to do that as much now.
True.
Oh my gosh, I know. And you guys know I'm the biggest animal lover. And so I can't wait to get out there and see these cutie pies. And the global pandemic has really had a huge impact on zoos and animal care centers around the world, as you said, as they've had to stop allowing visitors, but also they have to continue to care for their animals. The Living Coast Discovery Center near San Diego has been providing exceptional care to all of its residents and has a very special story about a lucky turtle, which I love. I save turtles all the time from the streets. And Rachel Harper and Aiyana Reissman are here to tell us more about this gem on San Diego Bay. And also I see a screech owl there too. So much fun. Welcome, you guys.
Hey, everybody.
Thank you so much for having us.
So tell us about the Living Coast Discovery Center. It sounds like a really unique place.
Yeah, it really is. So the Living Center, a nonprofit zoo and aquarium located in Chula Vista in San Diego, California. And we feature wildlife such as this little guy here. This is a screech owl, as well as aquatic animals such as sea turtles and octopus. We also have reptiles and other hawks, eagles, and owls as well. So our mission here is really to connect the community to coastal wildlife so that they care and conserve for that wildlife.
I love what you're doing. The screech owl is super cute. I tried to rescue one of those from an airport parking garage as well. He was stunned, but he actually got up and flew away. So there you go.
Oh, good.
You know, Cheryl, I have a feeling one of these animals is going to rescue you from life one day.
I think so.
Yeah. So Rachel, the center has been closed to the public for a while because of COVID, but do you still, have to care for all the animals, and how has it been going?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just about a year now that we've been closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So, normally we're open every single day, 10 to 5 for guests and for school programs as well. But right now we've kind of transferred all of our programs and field trips included to be virtual programs. So you can even meet Jack here virtually if you'd like to, just like you are right now.
Nice.
And luckily, due to the financial hardship from being closed, we've had so much support from the community and donations and memberships that we've been able to still care for our animals here while we're closed and make sure that we have all of our essentials covered. And so that's why we're also really grateful for our animal care team, who has just been nonstop caring for these animals, just like Aiyana.
Nice.
You guys are angels to them. And speaking of Aiyana, I want to turn over to her now with some marine animals. And you have a special story about Sapphire the turtle. Oh my gosh, tell us more.
Yeah, so Sapphire is a loggerhead sea turtle. She might be hard to make out right now. She actually just finished breakfast and is going down for a little snooze. And she is a rescue from the Florida coast, actually in the Sapphire Keys, where she gets her name. And she was brought into a wonderful organization called the Sea Turtle Hospital after being found with injuries consistent with a boat strike. She was able to be released back into the wild after rehabilitation, but ultimately was victim of another boat strike after that. And the injuries she sustained then were too severe for her to be returned to the wild. They began to reach out and see where they might be able to rehome her. We said we'd love to have her here with us at the Living Coast to be a part of our family, and of course to educate the public and our neighbors here about sea turtles and some of the ways that we can actually conserve and help them in the wild too.
Wow. And and Aiyana, you've partnered with another California company to come up with a very innovative way, of course, to help Sapphire with their buoyancy issues. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so when Sapphire was struck by a boat the second time, it actually disrupted her ability to maintain an appropriate buoyancy for the daily needs that she needed to kind of accomplish. And we have weights that are actually epoxied to the back of her shell to help with this. But she was still young when she first came to us. They can live to be about 60 to 80 years old. And she was still growing. So over the past 4 years, we've actually started to see changes in that buoyancy. And understanding how she was able to regulate it is going to be very different from other sea turtles. So we saw in April of 2020 that this buoyancy started to shift. It became a problem for her. She wasn't able to go down and sleep like this. She wasn't able to come to the surface for food. And we started to come up with different ideas that might be able to help her out. And one of them was creating a wetsuit for her. So we actually started to build a couple prototypes in-house, and then we reached out to the wetsuit specialists at O'Neill, And they actually built a custom wetsuit for Sapphire, where we're able to put in weights to adjust her buoyancy throughout the week or throughout her daily life here, so that she is able to be comfortable and thrive in her environment here with us.
That is so cool.
Oh, it's genius. And so many people don't realize the great work that zoos and centers like yours do for these animals. I mean, they think that they're not living in their natural habitat or they're not happy, which is totally not the case, because a lot of the times, as you mentioned, you take in the rescue animals, you take in the animals that cannot be released to the wild again, and you give them that chance and you give them that good life. What has the response been from the community with knowing what you're doing and for helping Sapphire with buoyancy issues, for example?
The response from the community has been really great. Of course, we've gotten a lot of support throughout the past year to help us stay open, but our biggest goal is to, of course, still have these animals here for people to visit, learn about them, and really create that bond that is so essential for conserving nature and conserving our wild resources. So we've got nothing but positive support and, of course, well wishes for Sapphire and keeping the center going here too.
Wow. Well, we certainly do appreciate the both of you ladies. Where can people go to get more information about your center?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Yeah, we hope that people will come visit when they can, and when they visit Southern California, you can learn more information at our website, which is thelivingcoast.org. And we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at The Living Coast. We have a very active social media presence, so hopefully you'll follow us there and come visit.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, everything you do for those animals. And are you able to pet the screech owl? Does he like to be pet?
You can pretend through the screen, right?
I know. I really want to. Oh my gosh, so adorable, so cute.
I know.
Yeah. Thank you, ladies, so much for stopping by, and thank you for doing what you're doing to protect our animals here.
No,
absolutely. Thank you so much for having us.
No
Thank
problem.
you. Oh my gosh, Q, I'm in love. I'm in love.
Cheryl, what a brave little turtle that Sapphire is. I love seeing others do what they can to improve lives. Yeah. And speaking of ways to improve lives, up next we're actually talking quality face masks for all. So stay right there. Hey, welcome back to Main Street Living. Ladies, before the break, we talked with some good people doing some wonderful things for animals, which Cheryl adored. But that's a comforting thing to know all around, right?
It is. It's so good to see that. And people are helping everywhere. In fact, this past year has taught us all to be a little more flexible and innovative in the ways that we work. And one group in California made a wide pivot early last year to help fill the huge and sudden need for quality face masks. Take a look at this.
Hey, I'm Eddie Penichkol. I'm Amir Tafreshi. We are the owners of the Lutema brand and MI Technologies.
And we manufacture masks and PPE equipment.
We grew up in San Diego, California. We went to high school together, junior high together.
Yeah.
We were friends since software programming class and designing class, and Eddie was a designer and I was a software guy.
2020 was a pivot year for everybody, right? And
the pandemic hits, schools are immediately shut down. Our business in the projection lighting industry was 80% schools. We had to pivot. We decided to do our best to, first of all, help with the situation that was going on with regards to the shortage of PPE that later on happened in March, April, May.
Yeah.
The crazy price hikes that were coming on at the same time.
Yeah, at first we were just sourcing masks, but then, we would get junk product, like stuff that would break.
Prices are ridiculous and the quality is just not there, at least not to the American standards.
We didn't want to just bring in junk quality product. We decided manufacturing would be the way to go because we have this manufacturing infrastructure and experience already.
that's kind of how we decided to start making these masks with the highest quality raw materials. No,
there's a void in the industry, right? I mean, there's these bigger companies like 3M manufacturing these very sterile, very plain masks that are used in hospitals, and then under FDA guidance, we produced a product that met and exceeded the standards, but we're also fashionable and multicolored and really great quality. The testing process is very strenuous, but our masks are 99.9% efficient. But we follow FDA, CDC guidance for the manufacturing of our product, and at the end of the day, we wanted to build a high quality premium product, and I think we have.
We're hoping that the economy comes back. Everybody, restaurants, everybody's successful. We're planning on our core business coming back.
We want to stay in this marketplace and manufacture for hospitals.
I think we do our best to make sure we fill the needs of the market. And if tomorrow the market is not there, then great, because that means the economy is booming and there's no disease. Until then, we're producing top quality masks with top quality raw materials that are comfortable for everyday use for the general public.
It's so great to see them doing that and making sure that the masks are actually quality, because there's so many out there that may not be. So you can find out more about Lutema's mask options at their website, lutema.com.
That's right. Masking up, so important right now. Another important topic coming up in our next blog, mental health, so important, especially now. We got tips and tricks for you. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to Main Street Living. Danielle, Quincy, this pandemic has been so hard on all of us. I mean, I think everybody's feeling a little bit of anxiety and depression at times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, having to stay inside, having to stay away from loved ones, it's done a lot, right, to mess with our physical and our mental health. So more people than ever are reporting feelings of anxiety or depression, but these are feelings you shouldn't deal with alone. So our next guest is a depression survivor who now helps others overcome the illness. Please welcome emotional alignment coach and author of Grew in the Glass, Curtis Tyrone Jones. Curtis, thanks so much for joining us on Main Street Living.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
So tell us, this is going to sound maybe a little bit like a silly question, but can you give our audience some quick tips on how to get more in emotional alignment when they're feeling down or depressed? I know it's not a quick process.
Yes, absolutely. So there's three things that I really focus in on when I'm working with my clients on how they can get back into emotional alignment pretty quickly. And so those three things are this: there's radical acceptance of self, radical acceptance of your situation, and then radical acceptance of others. Now, the first one, radical acceptance of self, I actually lived through a 9-year depression. And during that depression, the first 3 years of it were so dark and debilitating that I actually, dropped out of school with a 1.8 GPA. It was an awful time in my life. I was so depressed that I lost all of my friends, and because I had been pushing them away. And my dad actually asked me if he needed to put me into a psychiatric home. I was so depressed.
Wow.
And through that experience, I got some coaching and some counseling that radically shifted the way that I relate to myself and others. And one day I was walking home from class, and once I had gotten back into school, I was walking home from class, and I just had this thought that came to me. I was having one of these highs and lows days where you feel like you're on top of the world 1 minute, 10 minutes later, it's the worst day of your life. You don't know how you got here. And I was walking home from class, and this thought came to me that basically said, why don't you do a little experiment where you stop judging yourself simply for 24 hours? And so through that experiment, through that experiment, I mean, my counselor had already taught me about self-love and unconditional love and all these different things. And this was an opportunity for me to take all of that knowledge and bring it not only from my head, but to my heart and way down deep in my guts, which he would always talk to me about as well. And through that experience, it worked so effectively for me that the first day of that experiment became the last day of my 9-year depression. Now I've been free from that depression for 14 years. In May, it will be 14 years.
14
You just started with a day. You just started with 24 hours.
Yes. There's an ancient Asian proverb that says the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one single step. And on that day, it was a step that I needed, was to learn how to love myself unconditionally, to learn how to talk, to eliminate the negative self-talk. And that is something that I needed more than anything. So,
well, I mean, I just have to say, just kind of going back to the GPA that you had, I didn't even have any issues, and I had a worse GPA than that. So I mean, at least you were diagnosed with something. Something happened to me, so I just had to point that out.
Yes, I hear you.
But Curtis, you like in your book, how does your book play into the discussion of emotional well-being and emotional alignment?
Yes, absolutely. So, with my book, basically, my book is about a man who is so depressed that he's getting ready to take his life. He's actually on his way to the bridge to take his life. And as he's on his way to the bridge, all of these mysterious things start happening to him. And he actually bumps into this mysterious gypsy woman who really just understands what he's going through. She connects with him. She understands. She helps him to normalize his situation, which is a big one as well. And she really has this live and let live attitude. So she's really not even trying to keep him from the bridge. She's just trying to help him to understand how his mind works and how life works in general. And so that's a big thing with that. The other 2 points. Go ahead.
So sorry, I was going to ask you about the title. It's so interesting.
The title is Guru in the Glass. And Guru in the Glass is really a story about us learning how to find the guru, not outside of ourselves. A lot of people look for wisdom and all this stuff, and comfort and love and all of this stuff outside of ourselves. Guru in the Glass is a story. It's a magical story about learning how to find all of these things inside of ourselves. I had went to a counselor. I'd gotten so much help, which was all great. But when I finally overcame my depression, it was because I listened to that voice within that said, just 24 hours. Just 24 hours, not a year, not a month, not even a week, just for 24 hours. Why don't you try not judging yourself? And through listening to that inner voice, I was able to, deliver myself from that.
Wow.
I love that it's just 24 hours too. I mean, even our producer's chiming in here saying, how to stop judging yourself, that's hard. But I think we can all agree 24 hours, just one day. It's like such a great place to start.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Where can people find more information too about you in case they want to get your book or get in touch with you?
Absolutely. If you put in my full name, Curtis Tyrone Jones, on Facebook, or on Instagram, you can definitely get in touch with me there. My book is exclusively on Amazon, and so you can definitely find me there as well. It's called Guru in the Glass.
Wow, man!
Awesome.
Thank you, because I mean, I was diagnosed with a minor case of depression, just dealing with it as a comedian because I can't be out and make people laugh because that brings me joy. But just to see that somebody can overcome that, I mean, that does a lot for somebody like me. So thank you very much for sharing your story, Curtis.
Absolutely,
so powerful. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Look, I love Danielle. I love to see people win. Winning is my big thing. And overcoming mental health issues will always be a winner in my book. Now,
well, luckily we have people like you to make us laugh.
Exactly. I try a little bit, but now let's actually see how things are shaping up on the physical side as we work out. Well, as we work out while working or something. It's one of those things. Look, we'll be right back with more.
Welcome back to Main Street Living. A lot of us talk about wanting to exercise more, right, guys? But it can certainly be tough to find the time when you're working from home and maybe lacking a little motivation.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're into March now. I can't believe it's March. So, how are the New Year's resolutions doing, guys? Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Some people probably completely abandoned, right? But luckily, our next guest is here. She's back to let us know that exercise doesn't need to take up a bunch of time. We can sneak in little things throughout the day that will really add up. So please welcome back fitness instructor and coach Angie Abercrombie. Angie, thanks so much, and welcome back to Main Street Living.
Hi. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be back.
So Angie, we know first things first that you're in Dallas and that Texas was just dealing with some really extreme weather. So we want to check in. How are you doing?
Oh my gosh, thank you. It has been a madhouse here. We are in our third week of recovery, but Texas, we are just not built for that kind of cold for that long of a period. But what we are built for is movement.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, like, what are some of the ways that you can work in some extra movement, especially like when it was during that time when you didn't have power for a few days?
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, it's pretty simple, and I can tell you whether the pandemic is in effect or there's a storm or there are ways to incorporate movement, and I'm talking to the business traveler, the techie behind the desk, the person in retail, the mom with the stroller and the toddler. And it might surprise you, take the stairs. Believe it or not, taking the stairs adds up. Every step counts.
I do that.
Yep. And take them two at a time, to be honest. It's better for the butt. It gets a little lift. True. And like, if you say, well, I don't have stairs in my home. Well, maybe your apartment complex does. Or maybe if you're at the airport, you don't take the escalator. Or if you take the escalator, you actually work the stair or use the stairs in the airport, in your office building. Don't use the elevator. Use those side stairs. And if you're at home, working from home, and you don't have stairs, there's always like a little parking garage somewhere, maybe an outdoor parking garage or structure that has stairs, or your local middle school or high school. Run the bleachers. Just get your body.
Yeah,
that takes me back.
Well, I was about to ask, do you think it'd be cool if I just asked my neighbor if I could just go to their house just to walk the stairs and leave? Do you think?
In Texas, it would work that way, sure.
Yeah. Well, so you mentioned people who are kind of, stuck at home working, especially right now. And we know like we're supposed to take breaks, but it's hard because it feels less like work from home and more like home has become the office. We're sitting at screens a lot more. What are your tips to kind of get up and actually take those breaks?
Well, just like anything else, like your workout session, you have to schedule it. But, because of the advance in technology, we have our cell phones, we have Siri, we have Alexa, and we can set timers. A lot of people need double or even triple timers because, your timer goes off and you're like, oh, I need 10 more minutes or 15 more minutes. So set those extra timers throughout the day and then try to abide by at least the third one and get up and get outside or, do a workout or whatever it is you're planning to do for that break. But set the timers and use technology to your advantage.
Right.
Absolutely.
Now, yeah, and definitely set the timers on silent because a lot of our world now is in Zoom meetings. So you don't want your timer to go off in a Zoom meeting. But what can we do to keep our blood moving, while still listening? I'll put air quotes around it.
Yeah, I like that. That's a great question. It's simple, but the classics never go out of style. So, you could just pop while you're listening with the headphones in or, your earbuds, just pop some push-ups, pop a squat, lunges, even sit-ups or crunches. You're not going to make a lot of noise. You're on mute, they're on mute. And it's just an extra way to move even while you're on a Zoom meeting.
And the key is on mute. Don't forget.
On mute. And be dressed.
And be dressed.
Right.
Yeah, crucial. So what about if you're not working? And just some tips we can get some exercise more into our daily routine, even if we're not working.
Well, my goodness. scheduling a workout with a trainer, or for those states that are open back up, the classes are opening back up, or Zoom sessions. But use what you have is the easiest and the most simple. Whether it's tricep dips from your couch or a chair, or
can you show us some of those right now?
I mean, yeah.
I see you have the couch. I don't know. Oh, okay.
My table right here. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Because just for people who don't know what a tricep dip is, oh my God. Okay, also your tricep goals, Angie, by the way.
Thank you. Always, your push-up, that can be from your kitchen counter, anywhere.
Oh, I love that.
But getting the reps in is what's important.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
She'll never let me touch
even she's working right now and she's still got something in.
See? Look at that.
Brilliant. Well, thank you. How can people find more information about you before we go?
Oh, thank you. AbercrombieandFitness.com is my website. You can check me out there. I prefer you to check me out on Instagram. I post daily, a lot of sarcasm, but a lot of effective workouts and eating tips and meal tips. So check me out.
Awesome.
Yeah, I follow her and I'm here for all the sarcasm.
Absolutely. Thank you again. And glad you guys are safe down there in Texas.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Y'all take care.
All right.
Thanks, Angie.
Wow. Well, Danielle, she was talking about food as well. It looks like
I got to get my dips in here. Quincy, hold on.
We worked up an appetite while you keep working it up. Lucky for us, we got Chef Shannon stopping by up next. So don't go far. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Main Street Living. Guys, over the years, I've learned that adding the right spice to a dish can really be a game changer.
Absolutely. Yeah. Quincy, like a lot of people, has struggled with becoming a home chef this year, right? We're all just trying to figure it out. We've experimented with a lot of different, foods, and we're trying to figure out how to use spices. But luckily, we have one of our former guests back, Chef Shannon, here to help with some advice and a little lesson on how to spice up your life.
Hi, I'm Shannon Smith, and I'm going to show you the spices that you should not be without. I'll answer some of your questions. So let's start with Spices 101. Some of the spices I think you should absolutely have in your spice cabinet are cumin seed, which is used in nearly every cuisine around the world. I use this probably the most in my cooking. Also, coriander seed. This is the seed of the cilantro plant, and it has a really nice sweet flavor that it gives to all types of different foods. Chili powder. I have lots of different types of chili powder, and it's wonderful for adding a little bit of spice as well as a lot of flavor to your food. I use ground turmeric in a lot of my cooking. It's got great medicinal effects. It helps with inflammation. It also adds color to your food. This is what makes yellow curry yellow. Also cinnamon, of course. This is a very important spice in many different cuisines. It's not only used in baking, but also in savory dishes. And then there's salt. Salt is absolutely a very important spice that you need to have in your spice cabinet. And there are many different types, but you need to choose the one that you prefer in your food. Toasting your spices is very important because when the heat hits those seeds and pods, it releases the oils, which makes them much more flavorful. And I do that in a dry skillet. I just put my whole seeds into the skillet, turn on the heat, and wait for it to have a nice aroma. I shake it up a little bit. Once I start to smell it, I know they're done and I take them off. After that, I put them into a coffee grinder that I use only for grinding spices. Once they're ground, you have a beautiful toasted spice. Put that in the jar and it's much more aromatic than what you would get at the grocery store. The question that is usually asked the most about spices is how long you can keep them on the shelf. When you buy a jar of spice at the grocery store like this, you don't know how long these spices have been in here. So it's important to take a Sharpie, write on the top of the lid the date that you open it. 6 months later, if you haven't used all that spice, you should throw them out and start over. If I only needed 2 spices in my spice cabinet, I think I would choose black pepper and red chili powder. Both of them are used both in baking and in savory dishes, and they add so much flavor, a little bit of heat, and sometimes a little bit of sweetness. Hopefully you've learned a few things about spices, so now it's time to get into your spice cabinet, organize it, and start using them in your cooking.
All right, guys, I did not know this, that you could put the seeds into a pan and heat it for added flavor. Where have I been? What have I been doing? Did you guys know that?
No, but it seems so obvious now, right? And just like, oh, delicious. Must
I
be so
always
good.
wondered how the Indian food was so flavorful. I mean, I guess that's what they do. Yum.
Yeah, and I didn't know I have spices I have to throw out. 6 months. And
oh my gosh.
So easy to just write the date you buy it on the label.
I've had spices in there for years, so it's probably time to go through them.
Right. Well, to find more spice tips, recipes, and travel adventures, you can go to chefshannon.com for more. So thank you, Chef Shannon, for spicing things up here on today's show. And on another side of the break, on the other side, we got Olivia Drew Tyler. She's back with her friends, encouraging us all to mask up globally. Stick around for more.
Welcome back into Main Street Living. Fun show today, guys. We're welcoming back some people we've had on the show before, just like Chef Shannon. And now we have another familiar face on Main Street.
Yes, that's right. A few months ago, we introduced you to Olivia Drew Tyler, a remarkable young woman whose concern for the homeless led her to start a foundation working to provide shelter and face masks to those less fortunate than herself. Well, it's no surprise that Olivia is back and now with some of her friends to encourage us to keep wearing those masks a little bit longer. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Olivia Drew Tyler, and I'm the owner of Olivia Drew Cares. Join me and my friends, and commit to cover yourself for the next 100 days, and I will commit to cover the homeless. And we're just asking everyone to mask up.
Hi, my name is Sophia, and I wear a mask to stay healthy and to prevent the spread of coronavirus because I miss playing with my friends.
We wear our masks to keep each other safe so the virus can be over.
I wear my mask to honor my grandfather, Luther Spence, who died of COVID.
I wear my mask to help stop the spread and to see my friends.
I keep my grandparents and family safe by wearing a mask.
The reason I wear a mask is because I want to keep my family and also my community safe.
Hi, I'm De'aya. I'm from Minnesota. I wear my face mask to protect my family from the coronavirus.
Wow, what a sweet young lady, and all of her young peers. Like, that's pretty cool. They all came together and did the video. And if you all want to see what Olivia Drew is up to on her website, you can visit oliviadrewcares.com. And we got more of Main Street Living come right up next, so stay right there.
Welcome back to Main Street Living. How are your arms from doing those exercises?
You know, get it in when you can fit it in.
She only did 2 of them. Stop. Just
Really?
Yeah, she only
Okay.
got in 2.
Well, how many did you do?
That is a good exercise, though. I'm on a roll.
That's 2 more than you.
I don't know. Let's see.
Oh, see,
Cheryl, you gotta
that's-
curl your cats. I think you gotta curl the cats.
I gotta curl that. That's
Yeah.
kind of fun to do, actually.
Or yeah, just like a front press maybe with the cat.
I'd have to use Adeline because she's 14 pounds. She's the heaviest.
Okay.
Hey, you know, ladies, just a big shout out. I know March is the month of Women's History Month, so big shout out to the accomplishment of all women. Just wanted to put that out there.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Q.
No problem. No problem. I know we all strive to be the best, and you guys can always catch us as we strive to stay on the go on our Cox Contour app as well.
Yes, we do. And of course, you can catch new episodes of Main Street Living Mondays at 9 p.m. local time. So make sure you join us then as we take another stroll down Main Street.